Welcome back, Defenders. I have good news. Russia's Tuapse has halted fuel exports after Ukrainian drone attack. The refinery in Tuapse is currently offline. This is Russia's primary export terminal in the Black Sea, and Russia's not exporting anything. This is costing the Russians tens of millions of dollars a day as long as this terminal remains offline. How do we know it's offline? We have the satellite images. This is the oil terminal located right here, and currently there are no shadow fleet tankers filling up. None have been filling up for days. This pier right here is for agricultural exports. There's still some ships getting in and out. But Russia's shadow fleet tankers can't get in, and they can't get Russia's crude oil out to the world. Russia's crude shipments fall as global buyers step back after US sanctions. India, China, and Turkey sweep up some 95% of Russia's seaborne crude. But you can't buy it if Russia can't ship it. Russia's ghost fleet circles the oceans as buyers vanish. There's still daily operating costs. These crews and these ships are sailing around the world, and this is incredibly disruptive. What do? How long is this terminal going to be offline? If you're the captain of this ship, do you just idle in the Black Sea and wait weeks? Or do you leave and try and ship something else in the meantime? I'm sure this is massively disruptive and insanely costly for the Russians and anyone doing business with the Russians. So yes, Russia is now at a 4-year low for their crude oil exports. And on top of that, they're basically getting a 4-year low in their price. So the amount exported, 4-year low, and you can look at the price of ICE Brent crude. Urals trades at a huge discount. It's basically also a 4-year low. How much longer do you think Russia can do this? We're going to find out. Ukraine's going to keep going. Russia's Volgograd oil refinery halts operations after Ukrainian drone attack. This was last night. There are pictures and videos showing the refinery on fire in the distance. According to Reuters, they have sources at the plant, and the plant has had to halt operations. Once again, costing the Russians tens of millions of dollars a day as long as these refineries remain offline. Let's go to the war map, and this is the Volgograd refinery. Produces 14.5 million tons of petrol products per year, 500 kilometers from the border, and Ukraine has struck it 10 times. Once in September, and then twice in August of this year, and it's finally offline. Good job. Ukrainian drones strike oil facilities in Russia's Yaroslavl region. There's no pictures or videos, but local authorities north of Moscow said that pumping stations were struck up there by Ukrainian drones. Major fire hits Crimea oil depot after reported drone attack. A major fire erupted at the Kremnaftzbut oil depot in Crimea. This is Simferopol. There are videos online showing the oil depot fire. I'll link everything down below. And this was geolocated. This is a rather small oil depot, just 3 containers, but this is in Simferopol. They blew up. Please remain calm. Explosions in Russia's Oryol Oblast. Residents claim Ukrainian missile attack, and the governor says it was drones. Ukrainian forces target Russian energy grid. Oryol power plant has been hit twice in the last 5 days. So this is Bryansk, this is Kursk, this is Belgorod. Those are the 3 border regions. Oryol is the one behind it. And Ukraine right now is specifically focusing on the thermal power plants and substations in these 4 regions. There is a video online, but you don't see anything. But if you want, we can listen to it. The city's without power, and residents are recording the sounds. And it does kind of sound like a missile. I can link the video down below if you want to see it. The other thermal power plant that was struck is northeast of Moscow. This is in Kostroma. Kostroma's power plant. Let's see, there is a video showing the power plant on fire in the distance. Looks like it was a significant hit. This is meaningful, and I think Ukraine targeted it because of the location. The company supplies electricity to a significant portion of central Russia, particularly to industrial facilities of national importance. This power plant supplies power to a lot of factories producing equipment for the Russian military. And as you can see, that's a pretty big fireball. Ukraine also struck the Donetsk airport. The Russians a long time ago converted it into a military base. There are videos online, and this airport had an ammo dump, and I can maybe show you the point of secondary explosion. The ammo depot was hit, and then you can see the shock wave as munitions triggered secondary detonations. Here is a video of a resident of Donetsk filming the ammo depot fire from a distance.
Ебать, сейчас у меня ебануло, стекла выбило нахуй. Сука.
Pretty big explosions. What did Ukraine successfully get? And according to this Telegram channel, there was 1,000 Shahed kamikaze drones stored in this facility. As a result of the attack, an ammo depot was completely destroyed, a fuel storage facility was destroyed, a drone launching site was destroyed, and the power supply and communication nodes were damaged. This is pretty close to the front lines, so I'm surprised Russia would put so much equipment there, but that's what they do. Inside Russia, there's been increased partisan attacks. These are Russians who don't want this war to continue, or Russians sympathetic to Ukraine. Partisans say they set fire to Russian comms truck during attack inside a Rostov airbase. This is on a Russian military base. Someone snuck on and then set fire to some communication trucks. I'll link the videos down below. Russian partisans destroyed dozens of Russian trains carrying weapons to the Ukrainian front. This is the Freedom of Russia Partisans group, and they torched some locomotives in a raid. There is a video, and I can once again link this down below. They're just pouring gasoline over everything in the engine car, and then they light it up, and then they try and set fire to as much as they possibly can on this train, which was set to deliver weapons to Ukraine. To the front to fight Ukraine. Russian crew reportedly killed as Sudan's RSF shoots down military Ilyushin 76 transport. This is a Russian Ilyushin 76 with a Russian crew that the Sudanese government purchased from Kyrgyzstan last month for $12 million. Sudan, more or less, I think, is in the middle of a civil war. These are the rebels, I think, and I'm not saying these are good guys, but this was a Russian crew working for the Sudanese government, I'm guessing to get diamonds or whatever out for Russia's benefit, and the rebels shot the plane down. If you want to see the plane crash and the crash site, it's on the internet, but this was a Russian plane with a Russian crew, and now they're gone, so not saying the rebels are good people, I don't know anything about them. Let's now talk about Pokrovsk. Ukraine fights to prevent logistics collapse in Pokrovsk as Russian artillery, drones, and guided bombs level city blocks. Ukrainian flag flies over Pokrovsk City Hall after assault teams fight through ambush into the city center. A wounded Ukrainian soldier continued his combat mission to clear the building. This is what is getting all the views and clicks on social media. I see the thumbnails and the titles, Pokrovsk to fall, imminent, whatever. And this is not how war is supposed to be consumed. Never in the history of warfare has this been possible, with social media and the internet, to get block by block updates about an invading force taking a city. I don't think Ukraine is going to hold this city. But I am not going to attack or criticize Ukraine's military or their leadership. Some people are, and that's unfortunate, because they don't have all the information. I don't have all the information. I don't know what these Ukrainian defenders were told. I don't know what they think or feel. Only they know that. So I have no criticism, but I understand in the age of social media, when cities fall or are taken, that gets attention, that gets clicks. And this is what the Russians want. Pokrovsk is a mid-sized town, pre-war population 50,000. But the Russians have so few accomplishments, this is what they're going to talk about for months, because they have nothing else really to brag about. So President Zelensky understands this. He understands the internet and social media. So he risked his life to go to Pokrovsk, to visit frontline units. This is President Zelensky with General Syrskyi, and he visited a bunch of units. Let me cover these. He visited the 4th Rapid Response Brigade. They're currently in Dobrobila. He visited the 7th Rapid Response Corps. They're outside Pokrovsk. He visited the 25th Separate Airborne Brigade, also in Pokrovsk. He visited the Unmanned Systems Forces. This is the 414th Brigade, Magyar's Birds. And look at this command center. Look at those consoles and computers. Look at Zelensky's face, seeing how impressive Ukraine's drone army has become. These are the faces of frontline soldiers killing Russian soldiers, attacking every single day. Nobody is quitting. Nobody is abandoning the fight. Here is President Zelensky meeting with the Azov Brigade. They're currently in Dobrobila. When he shows up, he hands out awards, he recognizes individuals, he tries to motivate the soldiers. He is their civilian leader. And these people are currently fighting and dying for their land, for their country, for their freedom from Russia. So nobody's stopping. But yes, Pokrovsk is going to be taken by the Russians. Ukraine can no longer contain and control the city. Ukrainian assault troops cover the retreat from Pokrovsk. Pokrovsk is about to fall. This is the kind of cauldron that is collapsing. In this region right here, there's probably a couple hundred Ukrainian defenders, and they're currently trying to get them out. There's really only one road right here that is somewhat safe, but the Russians are watching it with artillery, they're watching it with drones, they're also distracted in the city. This is going to smooth out within the next couple days or maybe couple weeks. But this was about trading land for time, and this is the accomplishment. Russia took 21 months to reach Pokrovsk, and I can't even imagine how many casualties. 21 months, almost 2 years, since they took Avdiivka, to go 39 kilometers to finally take Pokrovsk. This is not much of an accomplishment. I'm just being realistic with you here. Russia is gambling and losing everything for nominal gains of a town that you never heard of prior to maybe 2 years ago. Just being real. But this is what Ukraine is fighting for, trading land for time and doing an amazing job. Video shows Russian drone killing white flag waving civilians and a dog. Ukraine opens up war crimes investigation. I will link this video down below, but this is 2 elderly men trying to evacuate a frontline village in Donetsk. And they have a cute little dog, and they're holding a white flag, trying to go north, trying to go west, trying to save their lives. And the Russians saw 2 elderly men with a white flag and a dog, and they got excited, and they murdered these people. The Russian military has a standing order to kill everyone. Every civilian. Everyone they see is a valid military target to the Russians. It's a horrifying video. But this is why Ukraine is fighting for their people, fighting for their land. This is the appropriate response. EU moves to end multiple entry Schengen visas for Russians penalizing Moscow for its war in Ukraine. Only took 4 years, but we're finally tightening the visa requirements for Russians visiting the West. The new visa regime, reported by Political, will restrict Russian citizens to single-entry visas. Exemptions will be made on a limited basis for humanitarian cases or individuals who also have EU citizenship. But yes, we should be restricting the flow of Russian spies and Russian agents and people who come to the European Union to try and threaten and intimidate Ukrainian refugees. I understand there's some good ones, people who are shocked and, they oppose Putin, they oppose his government, they oppose the war. But they got to go back to Russia, and they got to find a way to change their government. It's asking a lot, and I understand the double standard saying that as an American right now, but this is the battle we all have to fight to... I don't know, guys. Sometimes it just feels a little overwhelming what's happening everywhere in the world simultaneously right now, as everything continues to de-evolve. And this doesn't help. Russia should begin preparations for full-scale nuclear tests immediately. My president, Donald Trump, was so stupid, he tweeted out without consulting anyone that America should resume proper nuclear tests. Now, this shocked the Russians, and I'm sure it shocked the Chinese. It took them a couple days to think about it, and then the Russians and the Chinese realized, we would love that. We would love to start testing nuclear weapons again. Now, the entire world, except for North Korea, they stopped 30 years ago. There's no reason to test nuclear weapons. They're already good enough. They're already good enough to kill everyone on the planet. There's no reason to do performance tests to try and make more deadly nuclear weapons. But Trump didn't think that through, and now he has made the world a much dangerous place. This is Russia's defense minister. Let me read what he says. In view of the above, I consider it expedient to begin preparations for full-scale nuclear tests immediately. The readiness of the assets at the central test site on the Novaya Archipelago allows for these tests to be conducted within a short time frame. Russia hasn't done a nuclear test since 1990, so this is something Putin has never done as president. And Putin loves his nuclear weapons. He loves scaring people. He just does weapons tests, ballistic, cruise, and torpedo. But because Donald Trump is so stupid and opened up this Pandora's box, we're now going to have the dictator of Russia resuming nuclear tests so that he can intimidate and scare people, which is what he wants to do. China as well. Putin orders preparations for possible nuclear tests after a 35-year pause. This is what Putin said in his meeting, and obviously this is scripted. This is all a performance. Take appropriate countermeasures. In this regard, I instruct the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation, the Special Services, and the civil authorities, the relevant civil authorities, to do everything possible to gather additional information on this matter, conduct an analysis at the Security Council, and submit agreed proposals on the possible commencement of preparations for nuclear weapons testing. Let's start from this. I'm awaiting your report. Putin definitely wants this. This was a gift from Trump to Putin. And my estimates is Russia could do a test maybe within 6 months, and then they'll probably start doing quarterly tests. But anytime Putin wants to make a point or try to intimidate people, he's just going to start setting off nukes again. That's not good, guys. Okay, let's get to the good news, though, for Ukraine. EU approves 5th Ukraine facility payments of 1.8 billion euros. Thank you so much to the EU. Norway to allocate 7 billion in aid to Ukraine in 2026. Thank you so much to the Norwegians. and your fantastic oil and gas money. You guys are incredible. Patriots artillery drones. Germany adds $3 billion to Ukraine aid budget as Europe's largest military backer. Thank you so much to the fantastic Germans. You guys have stepped up this year. All right, this is good news. This is our 6th NAFO 69 Sniffing Brigade channel fundraiser, Refinery Bingo. I'll put the campaign launch video down below if you haven't seen it. And this means a lot to the people of Ukraine. This YouTube community, over the last year and a half, we have purchased and delivered 175 NAFO trucks, as well as hundreds of drones and other special equipment. We launched this fundraiser on Monday, and in 3 days, this YouTube community has fundraised $622,000. Absolutely astonishing. Thank you so much, everyone watching this. Thank you, everyone who continues to support Ukraine in any way. Volunteering, writing your representatives, advocating, bonking, whatever you guys do to support Ukraine. So these are the units. I want to share one. This is the 14th Regiment, and they're going to receive a truck from our latest fundraiser. Let me share their video for you.
Hello, fellas. We have 14th Regiment of Unmanned System Forces of Ukraine. We are asking for help from Jake Bro and his amazing fellows community in his new campaign, Refinery Bingo. The 14th Regiment are the current world champs at Refinery Bingo, and in order to keep our position at top of the table, we are requesting that you help us with some good reliable trucks. We are now off to go play Refinery Bingo. Slava Ukraini!
That was a good video. I liked it. Now, if you look at the fundraiser, currently at $622,000, that's from 5,592 individual donors, meaning that the average donation amount is over $100. A lot of people are going for patches, but I also greatly appreciate, and I think this community does need smaller donations. So if you're on the fence, if you were thinking about donating, and you can afford to kick in $5, $10, or $15, we could probably complete this fundraiser by Saturday or Sunday. It's up to you guys. Thank you so much. If you can't financially donate, don't worry about it. You're still part of this community. I still appreciate you. You're still incredible for supporting Ukraine. Last couple videos and stories I want to mention. Angelina Jolie made a surprise visit to Kherson. My guess is that she heard about the human safari and the terrible situation that the people of Kherson are in. So she risked her life, taking the drive, that road between Mykolaiv and Kherson. Every civilian car is currently being targeted. So she knew the risks, but she still chose to go. She visited, I think, some hospitals to talk to people and just kind of better understand what is the current situation in the city. There's not that many pictures or videos, so maybe something's being edited now and she'll release it on her social media. The only video I could find of her was somebody giving her a gift, and I can share this clip.
На площі Свободи тут люди виходили на мітинг кінотеатр України. А тут зображена стела нашої Херсона, яка зустрічає вас на місці. Це унікальна монета в лімітовому монтажу, і ми дуже хотіли, щоб вона була у вас.
More celebrities or more world leaders could risk their lives to go to Kherson, but they're choosing not to. So I'm going to give Angelina Jolie respect and appreciation for making the trip. Final clip I want to share with you is President Zelensky. Once again, he goes to these award ceremonies, and he wanted to thank the train crews. This is considered sometimes referred to as Ukraine's second army. I don't know how many people work for the railroad system of Ukraine, but it is a lot. The rails are constantly being blown up and destroyed by the Russians, and these guys have to go out there and risk their lives to repair the rail lines. Zelensky wanted to show his appreciation, and there's a pretty cool video showing one of these food trains. These trains will roll in and then provide meals to people in dangerous areas.
з 22-го року.
Це той стандарт, що я сказав, ширший, там буде можливість.
По фідбеку, який будемо отримувати. Тому це своя робота, ми це робимо самі.
Взагалі це один з 3 вагонів мистецького поїзду.
На заході було б Житомир став.
Гарячі кухні, де відбуваються гарячі процеси, тобто вже фінальне приготування їжі.
Приємно.
Запрошуємо в гості до нашої робочої кухні.
Ви зараз знаходитесь в холодному цеху. Ми в пікову частину готували 24 тисячі порцій в день.
У 24-му році, коли відбувся масштабний блокаут на Харкові.
Смачних продуктів, які тільки можна. Це такі термотарії.
Всі види їжі можна тут готувати.
Cool train. That's all for this update video. Glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. If you found this video informative, give me a thumbs up. Best way to support the channel. Comments and questions, let me know down below. I love hearing from you guys. Till the next video, keep defending the truth, keep defending democracy.